Well, the city's unsafe camping ordinance took effect this week, but some homeless advocates are saying it may just be a temporary solution. Joining me now to weigh in on the ordinance and what must be done to get the homeless off of our streets for good is the executive director of House the Heroes and CEO of vetcom.us, Kate Monroe. Kate, always great to have you in.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So what are your thoughts on the unsafe camping ordinance? I know you do a lot of work in the community and you personally go down and speak with individuals who are living on our streets. What are some of those conversations that you're having?
Well, I went down during the Comic-Con cleanup before and after it, and it was really sad. They had all the homeless. They gave them carts, and they said, you have 72 hours to move to a new camping site. There's other camping sites we're going to take you to. So they all packed up all their stuff, rolled up all their tents, put everything they own into these carts, thinking that was going to go to their next destination, and they lined them up on the street and literally came through and threw all of their stuff in the trash right in front of them and walked them one block over so it would look prettier for Comic-Con. So it wasn't really that well received
and we
by
talk
the
a lot
homeless
about
community.
having compassion for those who are living on our streets.
Yeah, I think in some regard, we think compassion is, we're going to put you inside. We're going to put you in a shelter. We're going to put you in some hot tent out in the middle of a parking lot. But what we don't realize is we are killing people with this so-called compassion. You know, when I go down there, 85% of the people I talk to are on drugs. And I don't mean smoking a little pot. I mean, these people are on serious hard drugs, doing them right in front of me while they're talking to me. They can get drugs from the nearest 10 people that are standing next to them. We bring Narcan down there. What we think we have is a homeless problem. We have a drug problem. And we do not have the wherewithal, the ability, the stomach to actually deal with the real problem, which is the fact that we have a drug problem here in San Diego, a disgusting drug problem, and we're complicit in it by allowing it.
And who's making these calls to throw all of their stuff away and move them from point A to point B, where it's not really helping them? They're not being moved to a spot where they're getting the help and treatment that they need.
Well, it always comes from the top down in any city, you know, from the mayor's office down. I mean, you look at what they're doing, it's like, okay, you're trying something. Very well, you made a ban. And then what is the teeth behind that ban? They go to jail, you're gonna let them out 5 minutes later. That's not a real thing. You know, so I think it comes top down, and then it gets all the way down to the police and the hot teams, and they're just there to carry out the direction from the top down.
And our officers are being forced to enforce the camping ban and say, hey, if you have a tent, you have to get up and move. We have our reporter at Lenderman right now who's live outside of City Hall, and there's a tent right behind him in his live shot. So our officers clearly have better things to do than to continue moving these people. How do we move forward from here and find maybe a better solution?
Yeah, two things. I'll address the first one for the police first. Can you imagine being a police officer and you have to tell this family to move their tent across the street? Meanwhile, there's 4 drug dealers dealing drugs in front of your face that you're not allowed to arrest. Imagine being that police officer. So maybe we switch our ideology. Maybe we take care of the drug problem and then we worry about moving people wherever we need to. But the solution, I think, I was in the Marine Corps, and they have what's called a FOB, a forward operating base. Not some camping in the middle of a parking lot. We make a FOB, which means we put in hooches, which are giant real tents. We put in a cafeteria, a real shower system. We bucketize everyone. Okay, great. You actually want to get a job. You are not on drugs. You are in bucket number 1. You have some mental health issues. You are on drugs. We separate them into different parts of this base camp, and we deal with the solution for what they actually need. When you're ready to graduate that base camp, you're the one that goes to transitional housing. You don't get a job in X number of days, you go back to base camp. There's no going back to the street. So I think the proposition is you go to these homeless and you say, look, you're going to jail for a very certain long period of time, or you're going to base camp. I talked to all the homeless people. I didn't get one person that said they wouldn't choose base camp over going to jail.
And why aren't our officers allowed to arrest the homeless individuals who are addicted to drugs? They're doing methamphetamine right in front of everyone's faces that are walking by. They're smoking it right on our streets. Why can't they arrest them if they're possessing those illegal drugs in the first place?
Twofold. One, arrest them, put them where? Right? Are we going to build a new jail to house 1,000 people? That's how many you'd find if you just went down to San Diego, 1,000 people on drugs. There's nowhere to put them. So even if you arrest them, they're going to let them right back out. Number 2, the will of California toward prosecuting anything. Forget just drugs. You can just walk in and rob stores in some of the cities in California. So talk about top down. It comes right from Newsom all the way down into all these major cities. You know, it's funny, Jesse Waters said, when I was on Fox, he said, oh, you know, red San Diego. Well, San Diego's not red anymore. Should San Diego be red? Yes, probably, because now that it's turned blue, we have all of these issues.
And before we go, Kate, I would love to get your reaction to what's happening at the safe sleeping sites. I know you've spoken with some people who were transported there. Are they still there?
I haven't spoken to them since they were transported there, but I go and visit the safe sleeping site. They won't let you all the way in, but you have eyeballs. You can literally just see.
Well, do you think that the city did a good job with it?
I think it's the most ridiculous thing ever. I don't know that the people in San Diego know where this safe sleeping site is. It's in the center of an operational yard. They just put a bunch of fences up, and on the other side of it are giant trucks. It's loud there all day, right next to the freeway. There's no shade. I was just there a week ago. There still weren't showers. So I don't think that that is a good proposition. Like I said previously, I think a high school, you know, campus probably could have put together a better safe sleeping. So,
well, it's been hot here in San Diego, and there's no shade there, and the pavement gets extremely hot. So we'll have to wait and see, and hopefully they do better with the next one that they're planning to open.
I hope the next one's an actual solution and not another safe sleeping camping spot. Yeah.
Well, Kate, always good to see you. Thanks so much for coming in.